Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. Amit Thomason. A key driver of the American economy, retail sales weakened last month, according to newly released government figures. Less expensive gasoline played a role in the spending slump. Retail sales slipped 0.6% last month, the steepest decline since May 2025. Rescue efforts continue in earthquake-stricken Colombia, even as authorities acknowledge the likelihood of finding survivors from Monday's quake is growing slimmer by the hour.
Search teams raising fists to call for silence.
Hey, Jake.
Listen for signs of life.
Make sure nobody talks until the red light there goes off.
President Abelardo de la Espriella says nearly 400 people remain missing. Civilian-run databases put the number 10 times higher.
And that's correspondent Ben Thomas. The United Arab Emirates blames Iran for...
Well, I mean, talk on the show, but when he's done talking and go to break, yeah, just make sure the light is off.
No casualties, but it does underscore the dangers faced by vessels as they seek to navigate the international waterway, which, according to former Trump National Security Advisor K.T. McFarland, is becoming increasingly less important.
President Trump done?
I'll take one of those big-ass WHAM sweatshirts, though.
What they wanted, or thought they could charm them out of it. But what President Reagan enabled...
What size do they come in?
He says, I'll just make State of Permanent irrelevant.
Yeah.
Now. Why? The countries in the region are no longer afraid of Iran. They're getting their oil to market by pipeline. And as every day goes on,
they do?
pipelines are built.
Are they for sale?
So more and more oil
On what website?
The UAE already moves 85%.
WHAMOhio.com.
WHAMOhio.com. All right.
K.T. McFarland speaking with the Salem Radio Network. Watching Wall Street this hour ahead of the opening bell. Dow futures are down 70 points. The Nasdaq futures 82 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you.
Perfect health. This guy just got out of line at McDonald's.
If you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So yeah, you need life insurance, but unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds.
I'm here with no legs, man.
555-20.
So you know about
800-555-20.
And work ethic.
BigLou.com.
We've got the answer.
Miles Road, east and west between Naaman Parkway and Brainerd Road, is closed due to a broken water main. Meanwhile, traffic is flowing freely once again from Route 306. They've cleared away that disabled vehicle on 90 West before Route 91.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear anything over the sense of entitlement that's bursting through the...
We're once again in the 80s tomorrow with mostly sunny skies, overnight showers possible, scattered rain on Sunday with a high near 82. That's your weather and traffic. I'm Chris Lively. Jake Underwood is next on AM 1420, The Answer.
And what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, to love mercy, to walk humbly with thy God? A judge in Medina County has dealt corruptly. The prosecutors in Medina County have done wickedly. They have done unjustly. Be instructed, ye judges of the earth. One day you will stand before the judge. Every mouth shall be stopped, and the books shall be opened. In 1775, John Adams risked his reputation representing Public Enemy in the Boston Massacre trial. John believed in the New World, all men deserve justice, and we do too. I'm Jeff Toring, pastor of Liberty Valley Church, and we are one of his footmen. Come, join us.
When we were kids, Dad would take us out on jobs.
We'd climb up on top of the truck, sit on the ladder rack.
I'm going to call, what's his name? Pastor Jeff.
Yeah.
And say, well, what if I can't be a footman?
And learning.
He'd be inside fixing a leak or swapping a water heater, and we'd be out there pretending we were running the whole company.
We didn't know what half the tools did, but we knew how he worked. Steady, careful, always double-checking everything.
That's what I'd hoped you'd remember. Not just what to fix, but how to treat people while you do it.
And that's the part that stuck.
These days, we're the ones behind the wheel. But the way we work, still Dad's way.
Honest, thorough, and built to last.
From the top of the truck to the top of the trade.
Consider it done at whyitworks.com.
Alex Marlowe cuts through the political spin on the Alex Marlowe podcast.
You're going to have to give me a while. I use all the mic spots in there for...
Trump. And that's why it's important that we figure
I
out
gotta
how
dial
to run
up
the
them.
score as
Yeah,
much
I'm
as
not
we
gonna-
can.
we're not gonna
while
play
their
the-
bench is so lame, and while we have the opportunity to add seats via redistricting and make sure that we make this Trump presidency as successful as possible so that we never relinquish power back to these people.
There we go.
Subscribe for free today on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com. This show isn't for consultants and talking points. It's for people who work, pay taxes, raise families, and live here. This is the Jake Underwood Show on Cleveland's AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome into the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're on X, Rumble, and YouTube. You can find us there by searching the Jake Underwood Show. I am Jake Underwood. The man behind the glass is one Mr. Seth Williams. Good morning, Seth.
Good morning, my friend.
How's it going back there, Seth?
It is fantastic.
Fantastic, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a little studio audience going on
Yeah,
here.
we got some people here watching. Used to work with us in radio. Shout out to Rebecca. She's out.
Yeah.
She's hanging out. She waved. Hello.
For once, no TikTok. She's actually in studio.
Right. And we have some other people in studio, and we're talking about WHAM! Young Conservatives.
Wham!
And if you remember, we had them earlier in the year, and it was pre-recorded. It was on January 1st. It was New Year's Day special with the Young Republicans, but now they are the Young Conservatives. So we're going to talk about that because some things have switched up there a little bit. And I want to get into the details of it, but that was kind of at the beginning of the run for the show. So people, I've referenced you both on air. I know Alex, you've joined in the chat in the after show a few times.
Yeah, it's
so
it's the funnest place to be.
It is a place to be. That is true. So just and we'll start with James. Just give a little bit because you are the younger.
Yeah.
Of the, I guess you are technically the youngest of the Young Conservatives.
Yeah.
But and I'm going to say it again, and Seth disagrees, but when it comes to economics, man, James knows his stuff, and there's a lot of people who can back that up. But just give us a little bit of a background on you.
Yes.
And just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm going into my senior year of high school. I got involved about 2 years ago with politics, getting connected with some local groups like McFan. And then, what did you say, about a year and a half ago?
Yeah, about like that.
I met Alex and Matt and kind of got involved with the YR chapter unofficially because I'm not 18, so I can't be a part of the YR chapter.
Right.
And then I kind of helped oversee the transition between the WHAM YRs to the WHAM Young Conservatives, and I now serve as the political director for WHAM.
That's right. And what got you started in caring about politics?
The House speakership race in 2023 after Kevin McCarthy was ousted.
Really?
There was like 20-some ballots.
Yeah.
And
I covered that.
My history teacher started talking about it in 8th grade because, when does that happen?
Hold on. Wait a second. You were in 8th grade when that was going on? Dude. What? No, man. I was working in a newsroom. Okay.
I was in 5th grade when COVID happened.
Oh, wow. Wow. So, yeah, you had a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now I get why you're aggravated when it comes to certain things with the government. Okay.
Yeah.
No, this is personal. All
so
right.
I see the House speakership race, and then I start kind of watching Congress, and I now enjoy Congress. I love watching it.
Yeah.
That was kind of the first start, and then political jokes at a summer camp. Those two combined kind of pushed me into where I am now.
Okay. All right. Very cool. And Alex, you're the head of it all.
Apparently.
Yeah,
so they tell me.
You're the main guy. So and Alex has worked with Turning Point. He's wearing his Turning Point hat today. So I know that, a lot of the stuff that you do, it is with that roots that started in Turning Point. But let's go even further back from that. What got you to be a conservative, and how long have you been involved with WHAM and all these different things? Give us your background.
Yeah, so really started way back when I was a real little kid. My parents, very conservative. I was homeschooled,
So whenever we were out and about or doing something during the day, I'd hear Glenn Beck in the morning, I'd hear Rush Limbaugh in the afternoon, and then Sean Hannity in the evening.
Yeah.
So like that is like what all I heard. I didn't even know who like the main pop music artists were at the time because like all I ever listened to was talk radio as a kid. So
right.
I was a certified Rush baby.
Well, I mean, it's man, there's nothing like a good talk radio like Rush. Man, like Rush was so good.
Dude, it was an era for sure. But actually, I was at the Tea Party marches in D.C. back when those were a thing.
Okay.
I was, maybe like 12,
okay,
something like that.
Yeah.
But got to see those firsthand. Got to see the start of the Tea Party movement. Started going to college. Got a little stupid for a bit.
It happens.
It does happen.
Yeah.
Maybe
you get wrapped up in it.
Supported people and maybe regrettable choices in the 2016 primary, but
hold on, who'd you support in 16? Oh, I have no idea who.
I voted for.
I don't know.
I voted for Kasich.
Did you really?
Like I said, I was stupid for a little bit.
See, I thought when you said I went stupid for a little bit, I thought you meant like you voted Democrat.
I did vote for a Democrat. What was that? 2018.
Okay.
I think it was 2018. It was a Democrat that ran against Anthony Gonzalez.
Oh, well.
So, I don't feel too bad about...
There's a lot of people who do.
I don't feel too bad about that. Like, I mean, it was still a stupid choice, but, like,
right.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
Wasn't that bad.
Okay, wow.
So 2016, I was very kind of not involved in politics.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, well, Ohio's not burning to the ground, so let's get the Ohio guy.
Yeah.
So,
all right, that's fair, I guess. Yeah.
That was my actual logic. I quickly became a Ted Cruz guy. And then
I don't know if that's much better.
No, here's the thing. Real quick, I'll defend you on that because it seems every talking head at that point, it's every talking head, no matter where they're at now, was a big Ted Cruz guy, and even Rush was a Ted Cruz guy.
Yeah.
And if you remember, Rush was even a Ted Cruz guy, and then Trump came on the show, and then all of that changed. So I'm not going to give you. I'm not going to.
And there was
a
lot of people, and it wasn't necessarily that. People entirely hated Trump, but people didn't think he was serious.
Yeah.
And that was a real thing. And people saw okay, Ted Cruz, 10% flat tax. That sounds amazing. I would take that right now, like any day. Like, hey, can we get a 10% flat tax? Like, that sounds fantastic.
Right.
So, I kind of jumped over that direction, started getting back involved in politics, it was probably 2019. It was actually PragerU that started bringing me back to conservatism.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
It was there. Soon after that, I met up with the Turning Point chapter president at the University of Akron, where I went to school. And literally 3 weeks later, I was the chapter secretary. A few months later, COVID hits, and nobody wants to run the thing. So I'm like, well, I guess I got to run this thing or else it's going to die out. So I did that for a year and a half, kept that going. We did a lot to help go against the mandates at the school at the time. We had probably the biggest anti-mandate rally of any Turning Point chapter in the state of Ohio at the time, which was a lot of fun. So we did that during there. I actually worked for Turning Point as the I think it was the Northern Ohio field rep for a little bit. The field rep at the time, she went on maternity leave, and so they were reaching out to the chapter presidents, who could fill in this position. I just so happened to have 2 or 3 days with no classes that semester because it all landed on 2 days.
Right.
So I was able to go around, help chapters run around different campuses across Northern Ohio. A big thing around that time was, COVID was still in the tail end. A lot of the high schools still had a lot of mandates.
Right.
And so there was community groups that were forming to try to stop those mandates. And that was a big push from Turning Point was to get involved in these community groups that are trying to get these mandates out of the schools,
right?
So we could start, and the goal was to try to start high school chapters because it was a lot harder to start high school chapters back then. It was very hard to do that,
right?
But and I learned very quickly, it's hard to find grassroots organizations in Ohio.
It's rough.
It is hard. It took me 2 whole days of just solid researching just to find a small handful. And once I got into that network and I met a couple of those people, then you start to get to meet all the others because a lot of them know each other.
They're all connected.
Yeah, and so it took, if it took me 2 days to get in, of just deep research to find these things, how hard is it going to be for someone who's just looking to get involved in their community? Like, hey, I want to do something. I'm not liking the way my city's run.
Right.
how much time are they going to spend? 30 minutes, maybe?
Yeah.
And if they don't find anything, they're not going to get involved. And there's so many people that are missing, these organizations are missing out on so many help and volunteers that they could be getting if they just had, better, reach or publicity or were putting more effort into that. And so grassroots really became a passion of mine, is just how can we help get these grassroots more effectively? And I was looking to try to see what I could do to help with that. Try to start a tech platform, realize I had no tech skills. So
that's fair.
that didn't really go anywhere.
Right.
We'll put that on hold to maybe a later date. But, and that's really what got me involved in Young Republicans was graduating college. A few of us happened to be from Wayne County. We graduated at the same time. We were involved with the Turning Point chapter back at Akron. And we're like, okay, well, we're graduating. We got to do something now.
Right.
And so we started a chat. So we got the chapter going.
Yeah, working in grassroots, it's a lot like when you work on a campaign. So like I've had people, somebody we know, that ran for office, and he came to me and he goes, "How do you get out of campaign mindset?" And I go, "You don't. It's always something that's there." And it's the same with once you're involved with grassroots, it's the same thing. You're constantly you're always going to look and go, "Oh man, I could help them with this, or I could help them with this," and you're going to reach out. And next thing you know, you're involved and you got 20 people with you, and it's really fun to do it. So if you're not involved, go get involved. But this is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get a little more on the background behind our guests here, and just pick their brains on some stuff, and then we're gonna dive into the issues coming up. This is the Jake Underwood Show.
He's just a common man.
Your calls, your city, your country. Back to the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show, baby. A little Dusty Rhodes theme for you. WWE Hall of Famer, baby. Dusty Rhodes coming in with you now. Hey there. How's it going back there? Seth Williams doing a great job on the board picking that music.
Just a common man.
He's just a common man. The son of a plumber, baby. Dude, Dusty Rhodes was so good.
Unlike James, who was apparently not a common man.
Wow.
He's super smart. He went to Medina.
Hold
High
on.
School.
No, wait. Well, first of all, okay.
Oh, it goes to Medina High School.
You just got done saying that you went to Ignatius and you're better than everybody.
Absolutely. I'm
So
just saying.
you
so how
are
can you say
anything but the common
James
man.
tries to act like he's superior to everybody, and that's
Oh
what
my goodness.
I guess Medina kids do.
How do I act like that?
But
Seth?
as
Give
I
me,
said-
no, Seth, give me an example of how I act like that.
It's real tough.
No,
to
no,
shine
give me an
bright
example.
in a dark sky
Give
like
me an
Medina.
example.
What?
Give me an example.
Oh, Seth, I know the boom bust cycle. Everybody knows the boom bust cycle.
Okay, hold on,
Explain to me
stop.
the theory of the boom bust
What's
cycle.
the boom
then.
bust cycle?
That eventually you're going to have periods of the economy booming, like it currently is with the stock market, and then eventually it's going to bust and burst down.
Okay,
to
so
nothing.
who came up with the boom bust cycle?
I mean, who cares who came up with it? I know it.
Well, because you have to know the context of the person who made it.
Because I mean,
that's
blanking on
like
his name.
No, that's like sitting there and going, "Well, I know the West Coast offense." Well, do you know the history behind the West Coast offense? Why do you need to know the history? Well, because you're going to know.
You don't need
why
to know
it was
the
made.
history. You just need to
Absolutely,
know how
you
to run
do.
it.
No.
So you don't need to know history on how the government and the country has been run, but you just need to know how to run it?
Absolutely.
What are you talking about?
I don't care about George Washington. I care about what's going on today.
And you know what? That's why we're at where we're at
That's
today.
a take and a half.
So
right there.
Todd Monken doesn't know anything about the Browns' history, but he knows how to run the team, so therefore he's a good coach?
Well, he needs to know about Jim Brown throwing people off of balconies to run a football team?
No, but he probably needs to know how Quentin Junkins handles a certain system and the best offensive line for the players that are here.
I'm sure he scouts his players.
But no.
So that's history.
Yeah, that's history.
It's not history.
That's absolutely
It's
history.
being in charge. Being a boss.
All right.
I don't need to know the history of Jake to hire him.
Dude, first of all, then why do we give job resumes? What are we talking about here?
It's scouting. It's not knowing history.
So hold on. Are you saying job resumes don't matter then?
I'm saying for the most part, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hot take, Seth. I mean,
See?
there's a lot of people out there that are going to say that that's not the case. I
A
mean,
lot of people can disagree.
you got to
It's fine
walk
with
in
me.
with your cover letter and
Yeah.
submit it to the AI.
I've
and
never done a cover letter my
and
entire
let it.
life.
Well,
welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah, no,
Seth.
you got to
Try
have a
applying
cover.
lately, man.
No, honestly, it's insane now. Like it's almost like a book report. That it has to look like a book report.
right.
It's absolutely crazy. But
Curious to hear James's
and
economy.
we're gonna talk about all of that. But now I want to talk about the WHAM Young Conservatives before because we got a little bit of time here before break. So I want to talk about the WHAM Young Conservatives. What is it that they do? Seth likes the merchandise. You know, he's talking about he wants to have a hoodie and different things. So just tell us a little bit about the organization itself, what they stand for, what the goal is, and basically just talk about WHAM.
Yeah, so WHAM really got started as, we were expanding our Young Republicans chapter and really trying to help support a larger region because, like I mentioned earlier, with there's a lot of disconnect between various grassroots organizations.
Yeah.
Even in that extends all the way down to the youth organizations that there are. And there are quite a few youth-centric political grassroots organizations across the state.
Yeah.
And just the disconnect and the lack of support, it was like, we've got to try to do something that can help support this larger region as a whole of Northeast Ohio.
Yeah.
And so it's, it's still something that's growing. It's still coming about, but it's meant to be kind of like the backup for some of these youth groups that are trying to make a difference in their area and help. Long term, the goal is to help provide some of those support and that network and the resources that they need to succeed. So that's kind of how it was born. It was born
Right.
a little contentiously, but
and something else too. So the way, and it's been almost like a year that we've known each other.
Yeah.
So when I took over when I became the executive director in Medina County for the Republican Party, I'm going, where's Young Republicans? Where are they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, they're in Wayne now. I go, what? Yeah, they just combined with Wayne County, and I go, what do you mean they combined with Wayne County? I'm like, what? And then that's when they're like, oh, yeah, no, you got to reach out to this guy, Alex. And I'm like, all right. And then that's when you and I connected. And I'm like, I don't understand. So let me ask you, and this, because it's a question that I wonder, and we talk about it quite a bit, with just that lack of connection that you see with the parties and the younger conservatives. And I mean, obviously, Turning Point and it 11 months ago with what happened with Charlie Kirk, it brought that, brought attention on it. We got to start, including these younger people. But what was that disconnect like? Like, what would you guys hear, if anything at all, before what happened to Charlie in September of last year? What was that communication like and that relationship like with some of the parties?
Well, I mean, I think in terms of our experience,
and that's all you could speak to.
Yeah, and there's a lot. I mean, from what I see, there's a lot of organizations that don't put in a lot of effort to build that connection. I'll find that the party isn't usually going to be the one to initiate stuff like that.
Yeah.
In our experience, it was really us doing what we can for the party to build that up on our end.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they see like, oh, this is something that can benefit us, they started to work with us a lot more. So, Wayne County, Medina County, our willingness to serve and to help them, they saw that there's a need for this.
Yeah.
And so I think, in an ideal world, yeah, the party takes charge in making sure that the young people are involved. But, something I always tell my leadership is look for areas where things are falling short in your local community. If there's something that your party's not getting to, if there's something that other community organizations aren't getting to, start to treat that as things like, oh, maybe that's something we can do.
Right.
If we've got to be the one to show the importance of youth in this county, in this area, if we've got to be the ones to get young people involved, then let's be the ones that initiate that. Let's take charge of that. There's a lot of people that, want to talk about problems, but what really matters and where character is really built is seeing problems and then taking ownership of them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well said. And that's it. I think of the simplest thing with like when if a candidate ever goes, well, what can I do? Like, what can I really do to get the name out there? I tell them, print out 30 shirts. Tell people you're going to go pick up trash in a community.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll get
that because people are going to drive past. They're going to see the name on the back of the shirt or the front of the shirt. That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And that's something that people don't focus on because they're too busy, going and shaking hands at county fairs and doing all this stuff, spinning wheels, whatever it might be. So, they're doing everything but actually getting out there in the community.
And I can speak to that. There was a guy we helped run for mayor over in Rittman.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't quite end up getting it, but he ended up with being fairly well known in the city of Rittman because he was involved in just about every service project that was going on.
Yeah.
People knew who he was, and they were like, you know what? I respect what he's doing. He's getting involved in our community. Maybe he's a little bit newer to our town, but I love what he's doing to help us out.
Yeah,
he's really putting his time and effort to give us, a better opportunity.
Yeah, if people see that you're trying, they're going to respect that, and they're going to at least listen to you. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into some policies. We're going to get into some policies. And I'm going to ask them because, I myself am a young conservative, and I'm not a socialist. So I'm going to ask them the big question because it's spreading across the nation, apparently like COVID did. Are they socialists? We'll get an answer to that question when we come back. This is the Jake Underwood Show.
live and local. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420. The Answer. I am Jake Underwood. The man behind the glass is one Mr. Seth Williams. Good morning, Seth.
Good morning, sir.
How's it going back there? You having fun?
Oh, yeah, always a
Good. Glad to hear it.
I'm a winner, not a whiner.
That's right.
There we go.
That's the kind of attitude we carry around here.
Absolutely it is.
What? You can't get to work because you have to choose between gas and lunch? Sounds like winning to me. I'm sorry, whining to me. I confuse them sometimes.
I paid $4.50 for gas last night.
And you know why?
That's winning.
Listen,
That's winning.
Listen, think about it. When Biden was president, or even a year ago under Trump, your car could only hold $40 worth of gas. Now it can hold $70.
And it's unbelievable.
What an incredible thing. We are winning. That's sarcasm. I'm joking around. I know some people think I'm being serious. I'm not. So welcome back. This is the Young Conservative Takeover of Open Lines, Ohio. So, and I do want to remind people, you can call in 216-901-0945. Text line is also open, 866-525-0955. We have a text. Somebody said, college indoctrination, peer pressure, and social media are the reasons that socialism thrives in the minds of our youth.
No.
So hold on. I'm considered a young conservative. I'm not a socialist. I'm far from it. I wouldn't be a socialist. Alex, are you?
Last I checked, no, I'm
Okay.
not really.
All right. Now, James, you're 17 years old.
I don't think I'm anywhere near a socialist.
Do you feel the pressures, though? Is there a lot of that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I think it's hard because you've got I go to a pretty large school, about 2,000 kids.
Yeah.
Okay. 95% do not care about politics in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay. That other 5%, it's about an even split between Republican and Democrat.
Okay.
And in the Democrat, it probably splits in half again to be there's 1.25% socialist and then 1.25% Democrat. So I don't feel an immense pressure.
So I'm just trying to think numbers here. So, let's round up. Let's say 2,000. 2,000 kids in Medina High School. If you had to put a number, maybe 50 to 75 kids socialist, if that?
That I talk to?
Yeah.
That I know are socialists?
Yeah.
5.
5? There you go.
Now,
There.
what I will say is there is an increasing effort to push certain aspects of socialism into the school system, but that is a state legislature problem, not a school board problem.
Right.
And apparently we have one of the most conservative state legislatures.
Well, I was gonna say we're a red state. James,
we have a
don't you know
super
that?
majority.
Yeah.
And we're giving schools money to implement programs that are used by socialists to implement their agenda.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but don't you know that we're red?
Are we? Are we?
I mean,
are we?
That's what they say. So you don't feel like pressured or anything, because I feel like the way that people imagine this is you walk in there, you walk into the school or wherever it may be. Let's say it's a high school. You walk in there, and if you're like, well, I like conservatives, like there are people going, no, you stepped out of line, young man. You must be punished. Go to the chalkboard and write socialism is the best 1,000 times. And then when you get done with that, they go, one more for good measure.
I mean,
that's how they imagine it.
Maybe 6 years ago. I don't see that happening now.
Yeah,
but that seems
conservatism's pretty cool now.
Right. That seems to be the way that they followed up. They said peer pressure is exactly why. How many people do you know in your high school that have purple hair and rainbow colored hair?
Very few.
Very few. What about septum rings?
More common, but not crazy.
What about stupid tattoos?
No.
All right. What about abortions?
Not that I know of.
Okay. So, yeah, this person, they said peer pressure is exactly why. Examples: purple hair, rainbow-colored hair, septum rings, stupid tattoos, and abortion.
So let's talk about why socialism is on the rise. Okay?
Okay.
Big thing, affordability, cost of living. The only group out there giving a message is the Democrat socialists. or the social, whatever you want to call them, communists, whatever.
Yeah.
They are the only group providing a solution. Now, their solution is not realistic. It's going to end in communism if they even get there, or a revolution, whatever.
Right.
And we can go into all of that and how. Go read The Road to Serfdom by F.A. Hayek. Amazing book about socialism and the path to socialism.
Yeah.
But the only group out there is the socialists. So that's why socialism is on the rise.
See, I agree with that. And I think, and it's like I've said before, the reason socialism's on the rise is because Republicans and Democrats don't do their job.
Exactly.
Had they done their job, had they made it so that things were, and look, I know we could sit here, we could talk about affordability, and now it's trendy to say it's a liberal hoax, and I guess I'm whining. Which, real quick, with the winners and whiners, I'm going to look at it as givers and takers, and do with that what you will. Because there's a lot of people that are giving, and there's a lot more people that are taking. So are you a giver or are you a taker instead of a winner and whiner? Because those are just trendy words that get people to go, oh, I'm a winner. Are you a winner too? And then you all could look at each other and high five and sing Kumbaya. Like it's absolutely insane.
I'll add as well, the same reason that there's so many people jumping towards Mondami, towards the Democratic Socialists, is the same exact reason why Trump won in 2024, is he talked about the issues that people cared about.
Right.
And so you saw the biggest swing towards Republicans in 2024 was young people. It was like almost 20%.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, the biggest swing away from Trump in 2024? It was like people over 65.
Yeah.
That was like a 13-point swing towards the Democrats.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, he shares mean tweets or something. I don't quite yet know the reason for that.
I mean, what do you guys think? Because I will say this. The AI slop, because that's what it is. To me, it's just annoying. Like it was funny. Sometimes it's funny, but like I'm not going to sit here and say the guy's a bad president because he's posting AI slop. Like that's not where I'm going with this at all. But it's just like, come on, man. Like we're going to do this again. Like we figured out ChatGPT makes videos.
When we get like 20 posts a day in like the span of 2 hours, it's just AI. It's just like, all right. And there's somebody in our group that decides to post every single one of them in the Discord, and I just like,
come on.
Ooh.
Well, and I get it too. I mean, he's got a tough job. He's got to deal with crazy people, and he needs to vent. I mean, and that just posting AI ridiculousness is his way of relaxing.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I mean, but real quick, going back to the socialism thing, I know one person that if I talk to them, they will say, yeah, I'm a socialist. And when I ask them why, they were a hardened Republican 10 years ago when I knew them. And when I ask them why, they say because the Republicans have gotten away from the conservative values that they had.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm talking about is when it comes to spending money, because look, I know people probably 45 and older, they don't care about the debt.
No,
they don't. That's not an issue. But and it's weird because it's even on both sides. You hear them talk about it. The one side, they're going, well, yeah, we need to get rid of the debt ceiling. There's no reason for that. That's ridiculous that we even have it. And the other side's like, no, we need to lower the debt ceiling. So like the debt is being discussed. It's actually a topic that's pretty important to the younger generations. It's just they're split on it, which is fine. That's the way that it should be. But it's still the conversation that's being had. And that's one of the and James, you brought it up. I think that's the part that a lot of people aren't realizing. They're the only ones talking about it. If we start talking about housing prices, immediately somebody's going to go, well, I bought my house back in 20 years ago for $150. Well, yeah, but you could sell it for $450 today. There's a problem there. There's something wrong because I don't know. I don't have $45K to put down on a house. And the problem is this, because you guys spoke at McFan last week, which you did a great job, and it was a great conversation between everyone. But towards the end there, some people were getting a little antsy. And somebody came up and they go, well, the problem is you want a 4-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms. No,
I don't.
No, we don't. No. I'd be fine. We talk about it all the time, James and I. So James volunteered for some campaigns that were outside of the state, and I knew some people there, so I would drive him there. We'd go there and volunteer together. And you stayed at a house. It was like the ones that are built on the east side, all in the family. That's the type of house. You walk in, there's the living room. You keep walking, the kitchen's in the back. Got a little dining room. Go upstairs, there are the bedrooms.
And there was even a little basement.
That's all we want.
Yeah.
I'd kill for that. 2-bedroom, 1 bath.
Yeah.
2-bedroom, 1.5 bath. The problem is those are still $300,000.
Yep.
In bombed out neighborhoods, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's a
Exactly.
good point too. That's a good point. But it's just so, and I know we have to go to break. So when we come back, and I do want to pick your guys' brains on this, when it comes to the housing and everything, because we talk about it on the show, and we get mixed. Some people say one thing, another thing, but it's not mansions people are trying to buy. I mean, the average housing price in Ohio, the median housing price, I should say, is $400. What was it? Last I looked, it was $432,000. That's a lot of money. And that means you're going to need $44,000 to put down.
That's better than California, though.
That's true. That is true. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to continue talking about affordability, flock cameras. We'll pick their brains on flock cameras and what they think about that a little later in the show. We'll be back right after this.
live and local. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer 102.9 FM. We're on X, Rumble, YouTube, and TikTok. So if anybody is in the Discord chat or a chat asking, how do I even listen to this? I say it every time we come back. Oh, boy. I am Jake Underwood, the man behind the glass. Is one Mr. Seth Williams. Hello there, Seth.
Good morning.
How's it going back there?
A1.
A1?
Yeah, we're looking great.
Hey, very good. Well, it sounds great, Seth.
Hey, doing my best.
I appreciate you.
Hey. Very nice of you to say.
Well, of course.
I feel appreciated.
As you should.
I appreciate you.
Oh, stop it. You're going to make me blush. We're here with the Young Conservatives. We have them in studio here. And apparently, was it during the break we received a call?
Well, you guys were talking the last time.
Okay.
He didn't want to go on the air. A nice gentleman. I mean, don't get me wrong. Very nice.
Yeah, no.
But he said that we have to hang in there with the gas because at least Iran does not have a nuclear weapon. And if they did, then gas would be worse or something.
All right, so here's the thing. These are going to be the ground rules when it goes to replying to somebody. We're going to be respectful.
Yeah.
we're not going to be rude or anything. Okay?
Yeah.
And everything we're saying with kindness.
And love.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Be respectful. Just making sure.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just making sure. I don't want to start taking pot shots at
No,
people.
no,
nothing
I'm
like
not
that.
going to take shots at anybody.
And that's for the callers too. Please, if you're calling in, this is the, we talk about. Well, how do I get to talk to them? And we figure that here it is. It's one of those chances, because here's the thing with all of this. We know that there's this divide right now. If we want there to be a conservative movement, if we want there to be a conservative party in this country, we have to start talking to each other. There is a divide within the party. Some people are going to say that that's not true, but there is, and we see it. We see when we're out and about that there's only people over a certain age that go to certain events, go to grassroots movements, whatever it might be. We know that that's an issue. And just like any kind of relationship, whether it's the girl you were dating in high school, you remember her, she was pretty, wasn't she? Or it's the marriage that you have, or it's the sibling that you haven't spoken with. You're going to need to talk this out. Here it is. This is one of those chances to do that, because I don't want this country to lose itself. And we're seeing that. We were just talking about the socialism stuff. And while we might not know anybody who is that yet, and the reason I say yet is because the Republicans aren't talking to the points that need to be spoken about. They're not. They haven't. And we know this. We've watched this. In 24, Alex brought it up, James brought it up, I've brought it up, Seth's brought it up. Callers have brought it up. What they ran on is completely different than what we are seeing happen now. And that's where the frustration starts, because you have people that crossed over to vote Republican for maybe the first time ever, and they're going, man, we were told that affordability was going to be handled. We were told no new wars. So we could talk about hanging in there. But how long do you want a generation to hang in there? We're talking about a generation that has been hanging in there since 9/11, when the world changed. And, I talk about it with these flock cameras and all this different stuff. The people sitting in this studio right now, we don't know what the world was like before 9/11. We have ideas. We can read about it. We can watch movies about it. But we don't know what it's like to get on an airplane. You got to take your shoes off, take your belt off, stand there. You got to spread your arms, your legs. This thing's going to swirl around you, and then you can go. We don't know what that's like. We don't know what a world is like without that. If we stay divided the way that we are, we're going to have a world that does not have a Republican Party. And what I mean by that, yeah, you're going to have Republican by name, rhinos, rhino, but you're going to have all of that. But they're not going to have any conservative values because they're not being taught the conservative values. It's not being spoken about. We're watching the debt rise. We're watching new wars. We're watching all this stuff. And we're sitting here, we're going, man, what are we talking about here? And there's this divide that's happening where you have people that want something different, but they're looking at these parties and they're going, I voted for a unity party, not a uni party. And they're two different things. The unity party, we talked about with Elon Musk. We talked about with Tulsi. We talked about with Secretary Kennedy. Dr. Oz, I would even throw him in there. and President Trump. That's what was voted for. That's what the younger people went out and they voted for, and they did it wholeheartedly. Not because of Charlie. Yeah, Charlie helped. But because it's what they believed in. They saw what they had been promised for so long. That's what they saw coming. They saw that the American dream might be affordable, not easy. None of this I'm saying is it's supposed to be easy. Nobody has ever said it's going to be easy, but affordable. You would at least have the chance to do it, and they feel like that's gone now. So when you sit there and you tell people you just got to hold on, what else would you like them to hold on for? Because they did what they were told they were supposed to do. Alex did it. I did it. James is probably going to do it. What do? You go to school, you get good grades. Then what do? You go off to college, and then what do? You rack up that debt, but it's going to be okay. You know why? Because you're going to get a job to pay all that down. And because you went to college and you're going to have that good job, you're going to be able to get a home. And then you're going to start a family. Those last two parts they contradict each other at this point. Because the college debt that you take on, you know what I never heard about? What I never heard about this entire time. What about a credit score? You got all that debt. Oh, well, that's gonna actually add more onto that payment. Oh, yeah, no. How much are you making? Oh, you're making $5,000 a month. Well, that's a pretty good job for first job right out of college. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, your credit score's too low. Yeah, your college debt. That's just a little. I don't know that as a bank we could take on that risk. That's what we're being met with. That's the reality of it. And that's why the frustration's there. And in 24, we were told that there was going to be a chance that we could obtain it. There was going to be a chance that that home that you want to buy for the people that are taking care of their parents, the people that are trying to take care of their kids, that are living in an apartment that is too small. But don't worry, they can make the rent. No, that's fine. And then on top of it, you want to sit there and scoff at them because they don't have, $40,000 to put down on. I'll even say $30,000 to put down on a house. When the statistics say that if it's a little over half of Americans right now, if they needed to put their hands on $1,000, they couldn't. And we're going to scoff at people who can't buy homes? We are supposed to be the party that creates opportunity. Where is that? Where did that go? That's what was voted for in 24. That's why we wanted a political outsider. That's why we voted for Trump in 16. That's why we voted for him in 20. That's why we voted for him in 24. I'm sorry, am I acting not like a winner right now? Accountability. That's what it comes down to. We're accountable. You listening, you're accountable. Where's the rest of it? This is the Jake Underwood Show. When we come back, we're going to pick the young Republicans' brains out. Young conservatives, I apologize. Brains on this. Both. That and more when we return. This is the Jake Underwood Show.
because real conversations still matter. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome into hour number 2 of the Jake Underwood Show here on this Friday, August 14th, in the beautiful year that is 2026, in the greatest Cleveland area. I am Jake Underwood. The man behind the glass is one Mr. Seth Williams. Good morning, Seth.
Good morning.
How's it going, Seth?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm happy.
It's a great day.
It is
still
a great
legless,
day.
but, you know.
Well, yeah. Well, it's 72 degrees and overcast out there, so.
That'll help.
Yeah. Well, you love that.
I do.
Take 365 of these.
Amen.
That's right. Yeah, welcome into the Jake Underwood Show. It is Open Lines Ohio, but there's a little bit of a twist on it, and that is that the Young Conservatives are taking over Open Lines Ohio, and that's we're just having the conversation. Like I said in the last segment, you know, we talk about debate, be like Charlie, debate, talk. Well, here's a chance. That's when we're going to do it. So we're going to practice what we preach, or at least we're going to try to. That's how that works. So and James, you just started driving.
Yeah.
$4.50 a gallon.
Yeah.
How's that going for you?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Love life.
Yeah. So, and we'll go ahead.
Yeah. So, what that caller talked about off air was,
and real quick, yeah, we had a caller call in, and they were like, and they weren't snobby or anything like that.
No, not at all.
No.
Very nice guy.
No, they were just like, hey, you know, I know we're talking about gas prices and stuff, but, you know, keep in mind, gas prices are high because we made sure that different conflict. We made sure that Iran, they weren't going to have any nukes. So, you know, it's going to be fine. We're going to go ahead and, you know, we have to deal with this now, but it's going to go down soon.
Yeah.
And what do you say when you hear that?
So the Iran war is a separate topic that we can get into. I'm happy to if one of the callers wants to call in and talk about, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Gas prices aren't going to go down. Inflation is too high for prices everywhere to drop. The dollar, a lot of people don't understand that there's a secret tax that everybody faces.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't consent to this tax, you don't agree to it, but it's inflation. And every time we print more, we spend more, it devalues your dollar.
Right.
So I think our dollar's lost now about 100% of its value since 1913.
Wow.
Yeah. I can pull up the exact numbers during the next break about like what you could purchase for $1.
Well, and
in 1913.
We talk about it. The one, it's McDonald's, but
yeah,
you know, the one that comes to my mind, and because we had somebody bring it up before, where they said that, you know, back in, I think it was 72, they said, well, you can buy a hamburger for $1 and get change back.
Exactly.
And now that $1 is more like $5.
Prices aren't going up.
Don't get me started on McDonald's this morning.
I know. Yeah, Alex had a bad experience with McDonald's this morning.
Prices aren't going up. The dollar's going down.
Yeah.
And that's because we're just printing and printing and printing.
Well, it's the same thing. We spoke about it because the Obama administration was doing that like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They were printing money like crazy. And we're going, what is this guy doing? Like, I don't understand. I mean, it makes no sense.
You have representatives who, under Obama, were the most critical of spending.
Mm-hmm.
We can't vote for a spending increase. We can't do anything like that.
Uh-huh.
And then 2016 comes, they're willing to do some more.
Right.
And then 2020 happens and COVID, and it's an emergency. We need to spend $2 trillion of money that we don't have. Keep in mind, you don't like the mail-in ballots? Go look at the CARES Act. There's some money going there.
Well, in that vein, I'm just old enough to remember TARP. Anybody remember good old TARP? Remember who wrote that? It was good old George Bush. Remember how much we freaked out about $800 billion and how awful that was? But, it was so important. We have to bail out all these companies. We have to do all this.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we spend over $92,000 a second. One second, $92,000.
Yeah.
We are nearing $40 trillion of a cliff that once it breaks, we're gone.
Well, and that's just it. And that's why when we look at the debt stuff, and, you know, people they do we don't care about the debt. Well, we do, though. It's something that we have to keep in mind. And it's something that we have to think about. I mean, that's the case with anything.
Yeah.
whether it's your life, whether it's a business you're running, country, whatever, you have to keep the debt in mind, because if it just gets out of control, I mean, I know a lot of the criticism whenever, the debt's brought up, they're going, well, who's going to collect on the debt? So who is the United States in debt to exactly? I mean, do we have an actual answer? Because I think people assume China.
Okay,
people,
so I'm not going to give you exact numbers here. I think it's about 20% of our debt is foreign countries.
Okay.
The rest of that's our own citizens, our own banks, whatnot. What you're really going to see happen, and this is where you get into the debate of whether it's helpful or not, and I think part of the reason so many politicians don't want to go to that point where you have to default on your debt.
Yeah.
You have to restart. We are so far gone. You cut spending, tie the dollar back to gold, and then you wait till those bonds default.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of get back on the right path.
But now, see, the way that I could see this going is that it's going to go, instead of going back to gold, I think we're going to see more of an incentive on the cryptocurrency stuff.
So this is where now anybody that says I'm a capitalist, here's biggest defense that I'm not. We shouldn't have a monopoly on the dollar.
Oh, agreed.
So there should be multiple forms of currency you can use, and those forms of currency should compete to figure out which currency is better, whether that's crypto, the dollar, other forms of currency, gold, silver, whatnot.
Right.
If you allow that to happen, the government is going to have an incentive to make the dollar better because they want people to use their dollar.
Well, that was one of the big things. So when I was on the campaign with Secretary Kennedy, we spoke at the cryptocurrency. What was that? Was that in Denver? I think.
That sounds right. Yeah.
So, and that's what was being discussed is that they were going to let cryptocurrency compete against the dollar. And
but now
and
here's
more,
what
it was the Bitcoin conference. That's what it was, because that's when Bitcoin, man, it just surged, and it was crazy. I mean, if you had Bitcoin, you could sell it for like $100. It was close to $100,000.
Yeah, because that's right after Ross was pardoned, and then Ross was speaking there.
That's right.
But now what's happening is the government is creating stablecoin. So they're trying to now undermine the cryptocurrencies that are independent of the government by creating a cryptocurrency to be like, oh, here's another option. It's tied to the dollar. So we have a fiat currency tied to a fiat currency.
What is that with extra steps?
Well, real quick, for people that might not know, when you say fiat currency, what do you mean?
Fiat currency, there's no backing to it.
Okay.
It's just whatever we decide. There's hard currency like gold, or if the dollar was back to the gold standard.
So it's like we're selling something on eBay. You make your own value.
Yeah. We think the dollar's worth this much because we said it is.
Yeah.
Because I wish Jerome Powell was still in charge, not because I liked him, but because I can make a joke about it.
Right. I'll add as well. There's the other side of the whole debt equation as well. And I'll give Trump credit this. I think he does understand this. Is in addition to cutting spending, there is increasing revenue. And that does not come from increasing taxes or just going absolutely rampant with taxes. That comes from completely unleashing the economy and letting the economy and businesses solve people's problems to create revenue, and then that trickles back into the government, and that helps fix the debt. And I think there is an important part of, and I'll give it to the some credit to what the caller had mentioned. A lot of these problems that we are having in this country, a lot of these economic problems, they've been developing for over 100 years.
Yeah.
It's not going to be some 1 to 2 year fix. This is going to take a decade to really see permanent change. We can do band-aids and stuff, but to really fix it, it's going to take some time.
Yeah, no, well said. Well, yes.
Hey, Jake, real quick, can you please talk to James during the break and tell him to quit talking to us like we're idiots? Everybody knows what a fiat currency is and how to hold back and do it. I know what to buy out there. I don't need James telling me like I'm some sort of idiot.
All right, Seth.
We got to go to break. We got to go to break.
How convenient.
We'll be back right after this.
progressive, and local. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. X Rumble, YouTube, and TikTok. Just search the Jake Underwood Show, and you can watch us along there. We have Mr. Seth Williams behind the board.
Kind of like this song.
Yeah, it's a good song. Yeah, a little Kanye for you.
Jim from West Park just lost his mind, but we're good.
All right. Well, let's get to some calls. It is Open Lines Ohio. It is the Young Republican Takeover. The number is 216-901-0945 if you're working, because I know this is during the day. Let's see here. You could text in at 866-525-0955. Stand by. Real quick, TJ, we're going to read this text. It says, I don't want to hear you guys talk about all three forms of inflation. Cost push, demand pull, and the only one And the only one I hear people talk about is monetary inflation.
They want us to talk about all three?
What I don't hear you guys talk about is all three forms of inflation. So there's cost push, demand pull. The only one people talk about is monetary inflation.
Okay.
So think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about that. And let's go to TJ. TJ, you're in the air.
Yeah. Hi, Jake. Your one guest really said something important, and he's right. These problems, affordability, housing crisis, rent crisis, jobs, these have been a problem for a long, long time. And you're not going to correct it overnight, not in a year, not in 2 years, but you can set on the right direction. And I think this administration has set us on the right direction with the fact of getting manufacturing jobs back here in America. That's more high-paying jobs, more people paying taxes. You can use that tax money to pay down the debt.
Right.
But, even God in his creation didn't do things overnight. He did it with a plan.
Yeah.
And now we expect the president to step in the office and solve decades of problems overnight. That's even like the tariff thing. Now, I know I agree, there's short-term pain with the tariffs. But let's face it, in the long term, with manufacturing coming back to America, that's going to be good in the future. So, it's called instant gratification. And in the real world, that doesn't work.
Yeah. No, you're right. But TJ, let me ask you this: with the rise of AI and everything, do you think those jobs will be around long? And this isn't a knock at President Trump or anything. It's great that those jobs are coming back. Just how long do you think those jobs will last?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that. Could they create other jobs possibly? Any technology costs jobs. When I first went in the computer field, they had key punch operators. You guys are probably too young to remember them. One of my accounts, Roadway in Akron, had like 100 women in one room, and they were just data entry operators on the terminals.
Yeah.
Well, a few years later, the technology eliminated all them jobs. But other jobs were created. But any new technology is going to create jobs, and it's going to lose jobs too.
Yeah.
That's just the price of technology.
Yeah.
But to expect everything to be done overnight, I think the groundwork has been set. And it's going to take a while before we see results. And in the meantime, and I hate to see it, but there is a lot of pain and suffering going on. But what's the alternative? Seriously.
Yeah, no. Well, and TJ, thank you for the call. I don't think I didn't expect it overnight.
So I don't expect President Trump to snap his fingers and fix it, or within 1 year.
Now, real quick, I will say this, TJ. These two, they're a little more rational. I will say that. Like that's why I wanted them to be the ones to come in and talk about things, because they are a little more rational. They're not going to sit here and go, yeah, but no, they can look at things pretty rationally.
Okay, yeah, but
okay.
Okay. Trump did cause this gas price hike. Gas prices were not this high when he got in.
Yeah.
They started to go down when he got in. And then he decided to do what he's doing now with Iran. Now, he already dropped bombs on him, to get rid of the nuclear problem or whatever it was to begin with.
Yeah.
And then he decided on a full-blown war, which he knew was going to cause these prices to skyrocket. So he did this. We didn't do it. We didn't vote for that.
So how would, let's say right now, President Trump calls and he goes, Seth, I need to know what you would do to get out of Iran. What do you think the plan is?
Oh, I'm not getting out of Iran. I'm going full bore. I'm going in. I'm going to take that straight. I'm going to take whatever I got to take, and I'm going to.
So you're going to raise oil prices even higher?
Yeah, no, I'm going to take I'm going to take that straight, and I'm going to open it up to everybody. We're going to go right on through.
How are you going to do that?
What do you mean? By force? What else?
So
what
you
other
want to
option do we
put
have?
sons and daughters in risk over?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
then what do you want to do?
potential-
Do you want to back out like a baby and put
No,
your tail
I don't
between
think
your
it's a
legs?
baby to back out. I think it's owning up and saying we made a mistake going in. We should pull out.
Donald Trump and America don't do that. That's not our MO. That's not what we do. We are
We were a
police of the world,
country
and we are the
built.
biggest country in the world with the biggest fighting force in the world. We're going to go in and do what we got to do. We don't back out with our tail between our legs and say we made a mistake.
But yeah,
Now, when did that change? Because that wasn't always the way it was. Washington even warned us to not get involved in alliances and political parties and these different foreign involvements.
The
So
one time
when did that
we
change?
did kind of do that was in Vietnam, and I think that was the wrong thing to do there. And I
You think we should have been in Vietnam?
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't alive for that, but two,
Right.
I mean, it was a different set of circumstances. Do I believe that we should have been there? Probably not. But if we're going to go in, finish the job.
But Seth, here's the thing with that. It creates instability for that entire area. So then it's going to be an
even... Does it create instability or does it create stability? Because once you get rid of...
Hold on. Go on, Seth.
Once you cut the head off the snake, man. Once you go in and take out the big boy of terror in this world, generally things in that area should fall in line.
But it's not just one head. That's what we have to realize, because 10 years ago we chopped that head off. It was Saddam Hussein. And then we chopped the head off again, and it was Osama bin Laden. And then we're chopping off the head again. So what I'm saying is, when we get involved, that it makes it unstable, and somebody else is going to rise up. So
I
we're going to
understand what you're saying.
So what I'm saying is, how do we actually solve it? And I don't know that we do solve it. That's the thing. Because is this going to be? And it's funny because James and I and Alec, we had this discussion at Steak and Shake like a month ago. But I told them, I go, the issue is with the way that we handle stuff in the Middle East. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it creates it keeps it unstable to the point that we're going to run into this again in 10 or 15 years.
Or we're never going to get out of there. One of the two.
I think I'd actually somewhat agree with Seth.
Got to go in and finish it.
So, I mean,
Seth, real quick, can you move your fan, buddy? It sounded like you were outside in a hurricane, but you were making good points. I didn't want to interrupt you. You were on a roll.
But I mean, honestly, I think some of the issue with Iran is we're treating them like a standard, rationally thinking first world country.
I agree with that.
And they are very much not that.
Yeah.
They are not rational. They do believe in exterminating the world and, bathing the world in blood, and that's in their charter and everything like that. Half measures don't work with someone like that. Like, if you are going to deal with something like that, like, you do have to go hard. You do have to hit hard.
Right.
And
you don't think we've hit hard? You don't think we've done that?
I think we have pulled some punches. And I think some of that's because, well, it's not exactly a popular thing. And so, like, what's Trump going to do? It's just like, hey, if the people are completely opposed to this in every way, shape, and form, like, he can't just go and, start bombing all the infrastructure, taking absolutely everything out. Like, okay, like, he's taken out almost all of their Navy. He's taken out a lot of missile sites. The thing is, as well, Iran's been preparing for this for 47 years.
Yeah.
Like, they have been strategizing, like, okay, if the U.S. starts to invade or starts to attack us tomorrow, how do we get ready for this? And so they've distributed their entire warfare network across a massive area. They've got their leadership distributed everywhere, and they've been ready for this.
Yeah.
And so, like, the idea that this was just going to be some quick in and out thing, like, was never going to be a thing. They've been preparing for this moment. They know how to fight us. And a lot of that is, the social aspect of it.
Right. And we have to take a break. We're going to continue talking about just what's going on in Iran, because Alex, you and Seth both are bringing up good points, and I agree, but I'm going to play devil's advocate a bit because there were some points that were popping in my head, some questions that I want answered, and I want your guys' opinion on it. And if you want to call in, the number is 216-901-0945. We'll be back right after this.
least that's the way the story goes. Frankie bought everything for Johnny, from his sports car to his Ivy League clothes. Oh, he was a man, all right. Oh, but he was doing her wrong. Just to show you what can happen, a friend came running to Frankie.
Live and local. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Such a good song. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're on X, Rumble, and YouTube, as well as TikTok. Just search the Jake Underwood Show, Frankie and Johnny, a favorite of our old boss, Seth, so I had to make sure that we...
Yes, indeed.
Yes. This is when he found out that I knew who Sam Cooke was, his mind was blown. He's going, "You know him?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course I know Sam Cooke. What are we talking about here?" But welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show. It is, as the Rumble title says, the next generation of conservatives. WHAM Young Conservatives take over Open Lines, Ohio, and that's what we're doing here today. We're talking about Iran. We're talking about affordability. We're talking about it all. We got it all here. And we're just breaking it down. And James, what do you have to say in reaction to what Seth and Alex were saying here about Iran? Because I'll tell you, and I know you and I, we're listen. It might be far fetched, but I think James and I both align with we want peace. I think I understand where you guys are coming from with we just got to get just handle it, get it over and done with, and I get that, but. It's hard. It's hard to rationalize for me getting involved in another situation like that in the Middle East because we saw what happened with Iraq. That's what I'm worried about. Because we have the strategy to go in. Obviously, we have that strategy, and it's good to go. We're going to go in there guns blazing. Why? Because we're the United States, and you're damn right. I'm wearing my flag. I'm doing it, right? We're all about it. And I love this country. So absolutely, let's go in there and handle what needs to be handled. But what's the exit strategy? Are we going to have to put boots on the ground? Because I think the thought with this was we saw what happened in Venezuela. We were feeling ourselves a little bit. We're like a football player. After we make a big play, we're like, yeah, nobody could run me over. And the next play, it's a little harder, a little more of a struggle. And I think we thought that this was going to be a lot like Venezuela, and it's not. And I think we're all seeing that now. But I'm nervous. What I'm nervous about is exit strategy. How do we get out? That's one of my concerns, James. I don't want to speak for you, but go ahead.
Weapons of mass destruction never went away. It just switched forms. It was what it was back in the 90s,
right.
The 2000s,
right?
When we went into Libya. All of the wars that Obama prolonged and started.
Yeah.
Continued through Trump 1, continued through Biden, and now continued through Trump 2. And I personally believe we have a economy after World War II that is built up on war. It's propagated by war.
Yeah.
The only way our economy grows is through war. And so they look at it and they go...
Eisenhower warned against that, the military-industrial complex.
And they look at what we have right now, and they see, okay, the economy is on the verge of collapse if we don't prop it up with another war. And so I think that is a major reason, not the only reason, but that is a major reason we are in Iran, because they needed to grow the economy.
I don't know that that's fair to say that. And I'll tell you why. And I can hear the people listening screaming right now. And it's because the economy was heading in the right direction. So we saw the breaks coming. They were coming down the line. Now I will say with Iraq, that was the way that was kind of the way things were headed with the economy and everything. We really saw it happen anyways in 2008. It just prolonged it, right? But we saw
2008 was artificially low interest rates as the major cause.
That's true. Yeah. No, that's true. But
that's on us.
Yeah, that's on
me. Federal Reserve,
like an
Alan
NBA,
Greenspan.
Yeah, like an NBA player. That's on me. But but so it just feels like it's pushing. It's just going to push it along. But with this economy, it was heading in the right direction. We started to see what it was pre-COVID, and what I mean by that is you saw gas prices go down. You saw a little bit of break on the inflation in supermarkets. You started to see those prices go down, and then this happened. Now, I will say this, and this is a major part that's forgotten about the Venezuela stuff. It wasn't weapons of mass destruction, the reason why we went into Venezuela. Real quick, Seth, do you remember why we went into Venezuela? Because I was reading over it the other day because I remember how you two got into it. And I'm like, what was that? And I started reading the stuff that came out back in February, January at that time. What do you remember the reason why we went into Venezuela?
No.
It was the drugs.
Oh, that's right.
Remember the drugs?
The drugs.
It was the fentanyl.
And
it was
we
the
caught
war
the
on
bad guy,
drugs.
too.
Have we
Yes.
seen fentanyl doses decrease?
I believe we have.
Have we?
Have they gone down?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so.
I don't think so,
I don't know how
Seth.
accurate that is. He's gonna double check it. Go ahead,
I'll
Alex.
say the one thing though about Iran, and first of all, I still do have criticisms about it. Like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
I'll kind of defend like a bit of what we're doing, but like, believe me, like, I think one of the biggest problems we have is a lack of transparency about what these plans actually are. Like,
Yeah.
and honestly, like, and that goes to the whole, we got to wait it out, guys. Like, okay, they need to be telling people what we're waiting out for and what that plan to get to that point is. But in terms of Iran, the one thing that is different from between that and Iraq, Afghanistan, is they are tied critically into this large network of countries, of first world countries, that are very opposed to who we are as a nation.
Yeah.
They are, it was Venezuela, Iran, China, Russia, North Korea. Venezuela, that was the biggest oil supplier to China.
Yeah.
Iran, they are the biggest drone supplier to Russia.
Mhm.
They're also a big oil supplier to both Russia and China.
Right.
And you see how these countries are working together. China is one of the biggest funders of industry in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
They are dumping a lot of money there because they've got
Right.
a lot of capacities. We like to think a lot of times that, this is the Middle East. There are all these bunch of third world countries. Iran is very close to a first world country. They are a first world country.
Yeah.
And that often gets forgotten. And so there is this difference. They have a lot of technology. They have a lot of capabilities. They got a lot of manufacturing technology. So they are part of this larger network of countries. And I do get the concept of, if we can take out this axis before it has this chance to fully solidify, like, okay, that makes sense. But say that.
Yeah. And listen, and when
Let
it
the
comes
people know this.
right, and when it comes to the nuke part of it, like I don't want there to be any confusion here. I don't want Iran to have a nuke. I think they've shown with the way that they're bomb happy.
Oh,
with
I can
the
go
people
all
around them.
conspiratorial on Iran and nukes.
But with the way that they've gone bomb happy with dropping stuff around to the different countries and bombing the people around them, I don't want them anywhere near a nuke.
Yeah.
So that I understand.
I mean, in the beginning of the war, we were told it was about nuclear weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, last year, Operation Midnight Hammer, what did we do? Devastate their nuclear capabilities. We sent them back 20 plus years, maybe?
We didn't, though.
Well, here's the thing is, have we really struck any nuclear sites? We've been told since the 70s that Iran is 2 weeks away from a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
By certain people,
Yeah, by-
multiple,
yeah, by-
not just one crazy conspiratorial.
no, by different
government
administrations,
officials,
by different
country,
yep,
across the board.
Mm-hmm.
So when they've told me that for the past,
it almost
so
feels like
many
they're crying
years,
wolf. Yeah.
How am I going to believe that? They tell me there's weapons of mass destruction. There's no weapons of mass destruction. We now have reports that they knew there was nothing, but they went in there.
Yeah.
We know with these other wars that they've started because of the war on terror, we know it's all been a fake war to maybe give the Bushes oil money.
Well, real quick, it wasn't a fake war because people died.
Oh, yeah.
People
I'm
lost.
saying
It wasn't a fake war. Maybe the reasons why they weren't
Yes.
completely transparent, and
Yes.
that's where Alex and myself, and I think James, and I see Rebecca nodding her head, where we're all going, yeah, we want a little bit of transparency. Now, Alex, let me ask you this, because when I say that, the follow-up that I get is, so what, you just want the enemy to know everything that's going on?
No, don't tell them what you're going to do and where, but like let the people know what, like hey, this is our objectives. Like, we have these goals, and okay, I get it. No plan, survives first contact with the enemy. That every military person will tell you that.
Right.
I think there is a lot of case of the boy who cried wolf here, because you go back to the old children's story, like the kid cried wolf a bunch of times when there was no wolf, and then when the wolf finally came, he cried wolf, and then it went badly for everybody.
Yeah.
I could go all conspiratorial. I think they might have actually had a nuke. There was some strange coincidences, and this is all coincidence. I have no proof for this. Right before we went in, and I think this is back when Israel started doing strikes against them, there was a very strange set of earthquakes that was going on underneath the various testing facilities that we don't have quite an explanation for.
Right.
There was also evidence that right before we destroyed Fordow, they moved all their material out of there.
Right.
So they kept all the nuclear material, they moved it out of there, and then they distributed it everywhere, and we don't know where it is now.
Right. No, you're right.
I think they might have finished one, and
we just don't know where it's at. Real quick, somebody in the TikTok said, "Yeah, just like 2 weeks to flatten the curve." Talk about crying wolf. Go ahead, Seth.
Just real quick, yes, fentanyl has decreased significantly since deaths since 2025.
I'll come look at that source during the break.
No, since 2025, then that would have nothing to do with Venezuela.
2024 and 2025.
Well, yeah.
The operation was in
Venezuela
2026.
continues to decrease.
Okay. All right. This is the Jake Underwood Show. I see some people on hold. If you want to join the queue, we'll take calls when we come back. That number is 216-901-0945. We'll be back.
where faith meets the front page. The Jake Underwood Show continues on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show. Seth, do you know what movie made this song relevant for people in my age group? This is George Clinton, Funkadelics. It would be the comedy classic that is Good Burger.
Can't say that I ever saw that.
With Keenan and Kel.
Oh.
The great comedy.
The
Don't
Nickelodeon
watch
people.
Don't watch the second one. It's terrible.
Good Burger was actually a good movie?
Oh, the first one, hilarious.
Huh.
And it holds
I've seen
up.
clips.
Yeah, no, it still holds up. It's a pretty good movie.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Welcome to the Good Burger. All right.
Home of the Good Burger.
Can I take your order? Huh. All right. Let's see here. Let's go to Geza. Geza, you are in the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You know Tom Zalstowski and the We the People convention, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, on his podcast the last Saturday of July, he had an interesting solution to this whole Iran thing. And I guess they moved the nukes somewhere into some mountain range in Iran. I don't know the special name they had for it. But he's suggesting they do a tactical nuclear strike on that mountain.
Interesting.
And vaporize the nukes that they do have in their centrifuges. And the one thing that will do, that will set Hamas on their heels, and same with the Yemeni Houthis, to think twice about trying anything else once they see that vapor cloud.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And Geza, thank you for the call. I mean, that makes sense.
Once you make that step,
that's just, listen, so
everybody's watching you.
I got to think.
Speaking, though.
Well, real quick, it was December of 24, so this was after the election. I went to a nuclear conference in D.C. where they talked about what the fallout looks like. Because, I mean, if they have something completed, if you attack it, it's going to go boom. Mm-hmm. The fallout. And just, I mean the plume, it goes 1.5 miles up into the sky. And then you're talking about how that could be carried. I mean, we would feel that here. We would absolutely feel that here. And at that point, I mean, you are talking about just, I mean, it's hard to come back from that.
All right, so this is dorky engineer Alex speaking.
Okay.
Technically, if a nuke goes off deep inside of mountains where you want to be,
okay,
you want bunker busters for that. You don't want a nuke's not going to help you.
So real quick. All right. So engineer Alex, welcome to the show, engineer Alex.
Oh, hello.
so if let's say that this nuke is deep in a mountain, are we still going to see the type of reaction and the fallout and the plume and everything that we would see normally? If it were to get hit?
So a nuke can't detonate unless you actively detonate it. It takes a very complicated mechanism. If you blow it up or shoot it, it's not going to detonate like the movies show.
Okay.
That doesn't happen. That's not a real thing. If it's deep inside a mountain, all that radiation is staying down there. So if you hit it with a bunker buster, like if you destroy it,
right?
If you destroy it.
So now the only thing I can think of, and this is nerdy economy environment guy. The groundwater. You'd have to think of the groundwater. You'd have to think of where it connects, because the testing that we used to do of the atomic bombs in Nevada, that's now being felt in South Dakota and North Dakota and even parts of Wisconsin and Minnesota, because it's affected. It's now seeped down under into that groundwater, and you have a lot of the Native Americans that are dying of cancers because they're drinking that water. So, got them again. But you know, just
that's
you know,
real.
it
depends on the geology,
like it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But so I mean, what we would have to watch for the effects of that with that. But I mean, once again, engineer Alex, because you're smart, you know what you're talking about with it for the most part. Is that an ideal situation then? If hypothetically it is in this mountain, and then that's where it's taken care of, is down there.
Well, do you have the? I mean, it comes down to, do we have the intelligence that that's where it is, and also are they storing all their stuff in one place? I doubt it.
Yeah,
because they know if we're going to strike, we've got the capabilities to take out deep bunkers. Yeah. They're not going to put everything in one place. They're smart enough to know to not do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing when it comes to the Middle Eastern war, it's trying to figure out the exit strategy. That is the hardest part. Let's go to Robert in Strongsville. Robert, you're in the air.
Yeah, both Bill O'Reilly and Seth are on the same page. Go in there and finish the job. But I thought, well, why hasn't he done that? I got 7 reasons.
Okay.
That's one. It's the last military option card he has in his hand. He can't play that. That's his bluff card. If it doesn't work, he's probably fearful of being bogged down in a land war. He'll become Bush Carter then at that point. Number 2, our allies in the region. They don't want this. There's a chance that Iran has enough missiles left to start destroying their infrastructure, killing their people. So that's 2. Number 3, you're going to harden the resolve of the people in Iran when you start bombing them. They were kind of divided, but if you do that, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Number 4, our missiles are depleted, exhausted. Our troops are exhausted. They've been over there for months now. Number 5, you're going to have Iranian people die. There'll be protests about that, and we're going to have U.S. people die. There'll even be more protests about that.
Yeah.
So you don't want that. And number 7, war crimes. You can't start killing people to achieve the objective of defeating their nation.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah, Robert, well said. Yeah, good points brought up there. I mean, that's the missiles being depleted. We're hearing more and more of that. Real quick, we do have somebody text in this from the 216. This is for James says, let me ask the young boy about this war on drugs. What happens? What would this country look like if we did have drug enforcement?
Like enforcement of stopping drugs?
I mean, for me, the way that would look like it'd be ICE, but with drugs.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But the thing isn't necessarily the going after the people with the drugs. It's the prosecution and the court system, which is a whole another conversation.
That's a completely different.
If we actually prosecuted people in this country, if we actually took crime seriously, we'd be in such a better place.
Yep. No, well said.
I mean, all the cartel members, all the human traffickers, all the kitty diddlers, all that kind of stuff. If we actually prosecuted and gave serious punishments to crimes, if we had a country where a criminal was scared to exit their house in the morning because of what could happen to them if they commit crimes, that's a good country.
Yeah, just law and order. It's like people run on that. Real quick, somebody asked the question in the text line. It says, the question is, can the United States eliminate all the evil in the world? Of course not. All we can do or hope for is to eliminate the clear and present danger to this nation. Even that task may require temporary pain and discomfort. Long-term commitment to any foreign involvement is what we must avoid. Most important to avoid any action that does not involve a direct threat to our national security. That's from our friend and brother in Christ from Liberty Valley Church, Dennis Polk. Dennis, thank you. And somebody texted in and said, law and order, dun dun. So very funny. But yeah, I think that's the main thing. That's the part that scares people. Is, of course, we want to eliminate the people that are threats to us. Of course we do. But I mean, the whole nuke thing. If they had a nuke, then yeah, they're a threat. If they didn't, then they weren't. But I mean, ultimately, the main thing here and what makes this such a strong and serious debate is, did they have one? Because we hear Tulsi Gabbard and Joe Kent come out and say, we were telling you a year and a half ago that there was nothing there. And then we hear,
and look who's gone. Look who's gone from the administration.
Well, yeah, there's other things at play there. Just say, especially with Tulsi, she had to go take care of her husband. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to get a check on news and traffic, and when we come back, we're going to switch it up a little bit. I want to ask him about flock cameras. We're going to talk about that when we come back. This is the Jake Underwood Show.
affordability. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome into the final hour of the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're on X, Rumble, YouTube, and TikTok. Just search the Jake Underwood Show. You can find us there. I am Jake Underwood. The man behind the glass is one Mr. Seth Williams. Good morning, Seth.
Good morning.
How's it going?
It is a great day.
It's a great day to be alive.
Friday.
Yes.
First time I have a woman in the studio with me.
There you go. Yeah, you got an audience in there today.
I got a Medina kid over there.
That's right.
Thankfully behind the glass.
That's right.
So we're good.
Yeah. How real quick, you were walking yesterday.
I was walking yesterday.
Yeah, you were walking.
I did a whole bunch of walking yesterday. It was kind of nice.
Yeah.
And, did some squats.
There you go.
Some other exercises. I'm getting stronger there.
There you go. Yeah, I'm excited. You said you were going to have your legs today. I got excited.
Yeah, I have a prosthetic appointment after the show.
There you go.
So I'll be wearing them all afternoon and doing some more walking.
There you go.
Looking
Good
forward
stuff,
to that.
man. Well, I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that, and that it's going well for you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that we give people updates on it, because I know when all that was going on, that was including these two. In our chats and everything, it'd be, hey, is Seth good? Seth's all right?
I appreciate everybody's concern and help throughout all of this.
Of course.
So,
of course. And happy that you are back and that you're going to be up walking around soon.
God willing.
And then when you're walking is when we're going to have you try some vegetables.
Yeah, and it would be nice
Some
to go
celery.
to the bathroom here.
Yeah, that too.
Let's just go with some fruits.
I like fruit sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he's never had celery.
No.
You're not missing
You've
much.
never had ants on a log?
No.
Oh, dude, ants on a log?
Oh.
No. Listen. What you do, you get a celery, you put some peanut butter in there, and then you
Mhm.
sprinkle some raisins on it. Brother.
Mm-hmm.
You're not missing much.
I was going to say, I don't even know.
How dare you?
Never had a raisin, so.
You've never had a raisin?
No.
What are we doing? What's going on? And
Why would I have a raisin?
he's never had sauerkraut.
Raisins are overrated.
I've never had sauerkraut, to be fair.
Sauerkraut is goated. I will give it that.
Sauerkraut is goated.
What is goated?
Greatest of all time.
Oh, my.
I've heard of goat. I didn't hear of goated.
Yeah, goated. Or boat, best of all time. Shout out to Jack John who made that a thing. Yeah, you have the goat and then you have the boat. Yeah.
A goat would be an animal.
That
That most people like James might like. A boat would be something you float on. Why do you guys make up stupid crap being young?
I don't know.
You did it when
Ants
you were
on a
young.
log
You did the
is
same
so
thing.
We
fire
never did
on
anything like
God. No cap for
no
real,
cap,
man.
No cap for real.
No cap
man.
is definitely not my generation.
No,
I never said it was.
No, what you did
I'm
the
just
same thing, though.
exposing you to the Gen Z terms.
Yes.
Every
Why? Why do
generation
you do
brings
that?
new
Why do you make
words
up
out.
stuff?
Do you want to? What do you? Every generation does it.
No.
Really,
Right.
bees knees and groovy. If we're gonna go way back, like how far back do you want to go? Look up 1920s slang. Your jaw will drop.
I
Some
guess
of the
that's
things
why
that they
Gen
said.
X is the best.
Yeah,
Gen
that's it.
X is the best.
We weren't strange like you guys.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
We're gonna go that way.
A little bit.
I don't know about that.
No cap.
I mean, Cool Beans. Cool Beans was another one. I mean, you guys had stuff that you said like that.
I never say cool beans.
You know what,
Stop.
like Riz is or Skibbity Toilet or anything like that, Seth?
I heard my daughter said skibbity something or other.
Somebody, real
Okay.
quick, somebody texted in and went, Seth.
What does that mean?
Seth.
Supposed to know what this
Seth,
stuff
you
means?
gotta gotta improve your aura here.
Yeah.
That's what my daughter said too.
Yeah, you're lacking on Riz right now.
Look, all right. Well,
Do you know what Riz is?
No.
It's short for charisma.
I got a lot of Riz.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about
I
that.
got a lot of Riz, no cap.
Oh, and listen, the TikTok chat says Seth has no Riz.
I've got plenty of skibbity.
L
toilet,
Riz?
though.
You got plenty of skibbity toilet?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Oh boy, this is.
You have no idea how much skibbity toilet I got.
Hey, he's got a lot of skibbity toilet. All right.
See, the funny thing is, quick side note.
Yeah.
My one friend.
You have one friend?
Would sing that song
Yeah.
like 2 years before Skibbity Toilet was the thing. Like the Turkish dude,
Yeah.
like the Skibbity Dope Dope.
Yeah.
So I knew the song from that, and then like a year later,
it just
everybody's
went off.
talking about
Yeah.
this, and I'm like, I remember this.
Yeah. No, so
That guy's dead now.
Well,
He got killed in like that one earthquake in Turkey. It was
Real-
like a huge
seriously?
earthquake.
Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody texted in and said, no, Seth is full of Riz.
I don't
Amen.
know. I
There you
think
go.
Seth has El Riz.
You got El Riz, buddy?
But how much skibbity toilet do I have?
So skibbity toilet, for people that don't know, it was a meme because that's how we that's how we define generations now. So it was just some dumb song that people put out on the internet. It was like skibbity dope.
What does skibbity mean?
Skibbity.
Yeah, it's just skibbity, buddy.
Skibbity.
That's like, do you know the whole thing? Well, here's the thing. This next one I do have to inform everybody on because the guy who's running for governor for Republicans speaks in memes because the young kids like it.
Only in Ohio.
Yeah. So are you familiar with the "Down in Ohio, Only in Ohio, Riz Like Ohio" song?
No.
Okay. Oh, I gotta show you that.
Video. So there's a song that it's like swag like Ohio, only in Ohio, and that's if you hear Vivek say only in Ohio. Can we do this? That's what he's referring to.
Who sings it?
It's not so much singing as much as it is talking over brain rot beats.
Yeah, they're in Cleveland or Dayton or Cincinnati or Columbus, and it's like,
they're from
there's
Ohio.
Like aliens and there's monsters.
Yeah,
coming
basically
through the
whole thing with this, because it's a bit, really. Every meme is a bit. So the whole thing with this bit is that if something happens, it's happening in Ohio. Aliens, crop circles, shark attacks, sharknadoes, only in Ohio, down in Ohio, Riz like Ohio. See, there. That's Seth is doing some research there. Here we go. Yes. What does Google say about the Ohio
Nothing.
Riz there?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's very high key. I know what I'm talking about.
That's right.
I got a blast though.
That's
Jimmy Neutron. That's 20 years old, buddy.
It says this is Gen Z slang.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. Let's do this. Let's figure out.
Let's hear it.
We have somebody from Gen Z here. Let's talk the Gen Z slang. I will say this. I once took a brain rot test with James.
He did a lot better than I thought he would.
I did very good on it. I am full of the knowledge there.
You got like a 7 out of 10. I got like a 9.
Yeah. So because there were some that. All right. So what's some of this Gen Z slang you're going to be throwing at us there?
Millennial would be chillax.
I remember that from.
But Gen Z is vibe.
Oh,
vibes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The vibes are off.
Bestie.
Okay.
Hold on. We're going to act like Gen Z came up with bestie. Bestie has been said for
Millennial says clueless. Gen Z says lost in the
sauce.
Lost in the sauce. Yeah.
Bussin'. My daughter says bussin'.
That's a bit of a throwback.
Yeah.
But that's Gen Z, right?
Seth, do you ever go to Costco and get your double chocolate cookie and give it 5 big booms?
Yeah. Are you familiar with the Costco guys?
No.
What Costco guys?
Hold on. You don't know Big Justice
and AJ?
Oh, dude. Come on. Come on. That's crazy. You got to be familiar with the 5
very
big booms.
Cringe.
There you go, cringe. Yeah.
We're probably giving Cleveland an aneurysm spike right now.
Yeah.
How drippy do I look today, though?
Well, you are dripping in swag there,
drippy.
Brother. Yes, you are drippy.
Yeah, this is stupid.
So, all right. So let's switch it up a little bit. There you go. There's your Gen Z slang.
I'm amped.
You're amped.
Before I got a blast.
I've never used those.
Yeah, I've never heard
No
of
cap.
got a blast. No cap. Yeah, that's
bussin'.
All right. Well, that's crazy. That's crazy considering the context. So let's talk about flock cameras.
Yeah.
Because the thing that we talk about it quite a bit. Like when obviously when we're not on air, but it's something that we're seeing it all over. And in fact, it was yesterday, and I'm gonna make sure people are aware of this. In Harvey, Illinois, it became the state's first flock safe city. And so those who don't know what that means, it's deploying massive surveillance networks of license plate readers, cameras, gunshot detections, and semi-automatic drones. So they're just going to have drones flying over. They're going to have cameras all over the place. And they approved this, and they're saying that it's for people's safety.
We're worse than China.
That's a fear.
I don't know about quite yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. So
do they have flock cameras? Do they have flock cameras?
Well, yeah. Who do you think owns the flock cameras?
As in, like,
The technology and everything.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's who they get it from. But Alex, I want to pick your brain on this because, like I said, we've talked about this quite a bit. I've talked about it on the show. What do you think of the flock cameras? I mean, what do you make of it?
Well, it's a complete. I mean, you take one camera. Like, let's say someone has a camera, they want to keep something secure. Like, okay, the problem's not with the camera itself. It's the fact that it's connected to an entire network of all of them.
Right.
They're all hooked up to some massive network. You get this thing called the mosaic principle, where if you can find a bunch of little pieces about somebody's life, you can piece together what their entire life is like.
Mm-hmm.
And you can know all sorts of information. And you combine that with, the spying that social media does on us, our phones do on us, all these devices. They can know every single thing about you.
Yeah.
They can know where you're going. They can know your preferred routes, and these things track that stuff.
So let me ask you this, because, and I know, well, we have to take a break, so I'm going to leave with this question, and we'll get to the answer when we come back. A lot of the arguments I hear, and I know that you've heard it, well, they're already watching. What's the point? What's the point of putting up a fight against it at all if they're already watching? This is the Jake Underwood Show. We'll get that answer from Alex and James. This is the Young Conservative Takeover on an Open Line, Ohio. We'll be back right after this.
This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome into the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer 102.9 FM. We're also on X, Rumble, and YouTube. It is the next generation of conservatives, the WHAM Young Conservatives, and they're taking over Open Lines, Ohio. Let's go to Carl. Carl's been on hold. Carl, you are in the air.
Jake, thank you very much for taking my call.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I really enjoy your show, Voices of Reason, which I appreciate. A couple of things. I sent you a letter, I don't know, probably a month or so ago at the beginning of the Iranian conflict, and I don't even know if you received it. But I guess my frustration in listening to the analysis is that it is siloed. And I would encourage you and your young conservatives to tap into a group called Promethean Action.
Okay.
And what they do very clearly, and you know, I'm not a what would I describe it? I'm not schooled. I read, I listen, but what they're able to do is distill the Donald Trump administration's global efforts in a very concise and way that people like me can understand. And the reason that I brought up my frustration regarding the silo analysis is that it is all connected.
Mm-hmm.
Venezuela was not about drugs, gentlemen. It was about oil.
Right.
And the reason that it was about oil is because Donald Trump at this point is interested in defeating the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so eliminating that ability to buy oil at 30% discount, as well as continuing to fund the fentanyl into our country, was part of CCP's plan.
No, Carl, I think that's well said.
I'm right there with you, Carl.
And so when we look at Iran, okay, I'll ask this question, and then I would hope that you would give me some feedback after I hang up.
Yeah.
Is what grade, first of all, would you give Donald Trump's administration, meaning his choices that I see for the people that are implementing this destruction of the globalist cabal strategy are the best that I've seen in an administration in my lifetime, and I'm 70.
Now, Carl, go ahead, Carl.
And then, so for example, Iran is a key part of the Chinese Communist Party strategy,
right,
as well as the globalist strategy to, first of all, buy discounted oil and continue to fund disruption in the Middle East, which is not only a distraction but a financial drain. The reason that conflict in the Middle East, and again, PrometheanAction.com, I highly encourage you to just tap in, because these two women they've been looking at this for a long time, and they give you history, and it's just beautiful. But anyway, the reason that conflict in the Middle East benefits the globalist cabal as well as the CCP is that it is a financial drain, and it also offers them the opportunity to distract the United States from actually concentrating on the actual enemy.
No, Carl, and we got other calls coming in, but thank you for the call, Carl. Thank you. And thank you for listening. Really good call. I do want to answer, he asked the grade on the Trump administration and the people that are in there making the decisions. We'll start with Alex. We'll work our way down the line. Alex, what do you give the Trump administration grade on not only, we'll do it in two parts, on the selection and the people that are in there, and then how they've handled things? What would your grade be?
I think in terms of what they're actually doing, I think they are doing fairly well. I think the problem is the lack of communication and the lack of explaining what those end objectives are. So people are coming up with what they think are the objectives of the administration.
Yeah.
And that's not always accurate. And,
Correct.
When you start to realize it's not, well, then you just get fed up and disappointed and like, well, this is not what I thought this was going to be because, well, you never told me what this was going to be.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So I think it depends on how you look at it. I think in what they're doing long term, I think he and the administration are fairly well setting up for us for a good future, long term. They need to help explain what the vision is.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason why a lot of the socialists do so well is because they explain a vision. Like, this is our destination. This is where we're heading, and this is what we believe are the steps to get there.
They know the end point.
And I think Donald Trump has an end point, but people aren't seeing the steps of how it gets there, and he's not. And people aren't seeing that end point.
Yeah. So letter grade, what would you give him?
I think in terms of function, probably at least a B.
Okay.
In terms of communication, maybe a D.
Okay. No, I think that's fair. I think that's, and James?
The people he picked on day one, B.
Mm-hmm.
Their implementation, C minus, getting down.
Yeah. All right. For me, people he picked, I'm going to say A. I am, because there's a reason why there was that positivity around it, because that was the unity party.
Yeah.
That's what we had been waiting for. And the fact that he actually did it, because I remember, oh man, I remember when we, on the Kennedy campaign, when we dropped out, oh man, the fights. And I'm not talking about with Secretary Kennedy. I'm talking about behind the scenes, the screaming matches in the hotel rooms going, this guy's a liar. He's not going to give him a shot. And I'm going, shut up. Yes, he is. The fights, the arguing that ensued, because they're going, Trump is a crook. He's this. They're never going to. And I go, yes, he is. Just give it time. Give it time. And then we saw there was more involvement with people like Elon, Tulsi, Bobby Kennedy, and even Hegseth. He's another one. I mean, you have to remember, there was a lot of excitement around Hegseth
probably
as
my
well.
favorite. He's probably my favorite.
Hegseth is the most transparent person in this entire administration. You might not agree with the way that he's going about it, but he tells you what's going on. He tells you straight up. So when it comes to a grade, I give it an A. And I would agree about the communication. I would say a B. I'd say a B with the way that things are going. But I agree. I think you hit it on the head there, Alex, is when they talk about, when you compare what's happening now to why people are believing that socialism is becoming so popular, it's because they are saying, you deserve this. This is what we will do. This is the long-term goals. Now, whether or not they'll hit those goals, nobody knows. I mean, it's like a football season. Every team's going to go undefeated, no matter what. And then if you're a Browns fan, you win 3 games. But if they had that transparency, because we had that in 2016 with Trump, and that's how they said he's playing 5D chess or 1,000 million D chess, which at this point it's kind of become a meme because we hear it so much. But when you hear that, it's because he would say, this is step 1, this is step 2, step 3 is this. If step 3 doesn't work, then we will do this. This is what we're going to do, and it's going to be great. And that's where the weaving actually came into play. Because it'd be, we're going to go in there, we're going to get the oil, and it's going to lower lots of oil prices, and it's going to be easier for you to do what you need. And he would explain it like that. Now it's not so much that. So I feel like there is a bit of a disconnect when it comes to that. Let's go. Yeah, actually, we got to go to break. So we're going to get a check on traffic. Then we'll be back right after this.
listen to talk radio. Some pretend not to. Either way, we're still asking the questions. Back to the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We are on X, Rumble, YouTube, TikTok. Just search The Jake Underwood Show. I am Jake Underwood. The man behind the glass is one Mr. Seth Williams. Hello there, Seth.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Almost afternoon.
Almost, yeah. Final half an hour of the show here.
We
It's
missed 11 C's for all my Lord of the Rings fans out there.
Take a breath.
And he's going to make fun of me. Dear God.
Let's see. Let's go
No
to
cap.
Let's go to Chuck. Chuck's been on hold. Chuck, you're in the air.
Yes, how you doing?
Doing well, Chuck.
Hey, listen, another good show. But you were talking about the cameras and different things that are going on, and I mentioned to him that did you ever see 2,000 Mules at all?
I've watched bits and pieces, and I know it's not the first time somebody else has told me to watch it. I know Alex was nodding his head yes that he has seen it.
Okay. Well, my question is if you watch the whole thing, you'll find out that the people who did the research on all this, what I'm getting at is that in order to true about the voting in the drop boxes, what they did, they went to the same thing people that the FBI use to do on your phone and the location services. So make a long story short, there was a murder. It was unsolved. And what they did the pings on the phones that the people that did the killing were on the phone at different points.
Gotcha.
And that's how they proved that. Now, so what you're getting at with the phones and the cameras, if you really look, I don't know if you've been on 71 at all.
Mm-hmm.
Every exit on 71 South, there's a camera on the north side and the south side of the street.
Yeah.
So if you get on and off, you'll get that. Now, if you really want to look at a good camera, look on 83 and 90. As you get off, it's on the north east corner between the off-ramp on 83 and Avon.
Okay.
And 90. That place has got probably 10 cameras on one spot.
Interesting. All right, Chuck, thank you for the call. I mean, Alex, what you saw the documentary?
I did. I think that is a interesting point he brings up because, that was all done by using the location services on people's phones to determine who's running to these ballot harvesting locations and then running to drop boxes. And that's how they found those 2,000 mules is they were using, the pings like, okay, this device is connected to this, local network.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they were able to find that. If you want a scary thought, and if you were to be honest, our entire economy right now is practically propped up on invasion of privacy.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Yeah.
Try to be a business that does well without utilizing marketing materials that are dependent on taking people's data and doing that hyper focused marketing kind of stuff.
Well, and also think about it, when you talk about something, oh, there it goes, pops up in my Facebook feed. There's an ad.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that's what's keeping it afloat right now.
With that, I want to make 2 points. First, with the 2,000 Mules instance, because I haven't seen the movie, was it that the FBI used these services to track them, or was it private citizens?
It was private citizens.
Okay. Big thing I have conversations about. First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment does not say that a private citizen cannot search. A private business cannot do X, Y, and Z. It says the government cannot without a warrant.
Right.
Therefore, do people have the right to, does that business have the right to spy on your phone to collect data to then sell it to you? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a conversation to be had.
Yeah.
I think it begs more the moral question. But with the government, the biggest concern for me with the flock cameras is there's no warrant requirement, and there should be. It's clearly in the Constitution, in the Bill of Rights, in the Fourth Amendment.
Right.
We just struck down geofence warrants, which was amazing to see that come out of the Supreme Court. But I don't understand how you can say that Well, we can just go on there anytime and look at it.
Well, you know what it's for. It's for safety. Don't you want people to be safe?
What's the Benjamin Franklin quote? How's it go exactly? You give up private or security for privacy.
If you give up liberty for security, you deserve neither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
No, and I agree with that. That's something I believe in.
I just say, how about we prosecute people? How about when people do crimes, we put them in jail for a long time and make it miserable for them so they don't commit crimes?
Right. Honestly, that's the answer. If you really want to get down to the answer, it's making sure that criminals are prosecuted.
Yeah.
People that break the law actually serve their time.
Because the flock camera doesn't stop the shooting.
Right.
It doesn't stop the car theft. You can catch that person, but so can the cops.
I mean, the biggest thing I'll hear from like officers and deputies and stuff is like, well, these have been very good for helping us catch human traffickers mid-transit. We can track where they're going and stuff like that. How about if you're a human trafficker, you get the death penalty, and then you don't get human traffickers?
I mean, here's
the you want to talk about slavery.
I'm not
going to
argue. I'm not going to argue with that at all. I mean, that in all honesty, I mean, I'm going to sound very barbaric here, and I apologize, but listen, human traffickers, one time, like you tie a horse to one end and another to the, and you say mush. You crack the whip, whatever, and they start running. You do that in the public square one time, you're going to have a lot of people second guess because that's a special kind of evil. To do that.
Idaho's brought back firing squads. For
Did they really?
They did. Yeah, if you're a kitty diddler, it's a mandatory firing squad.
Interesting. I mean, look, I'm not against that. Like that, and this is the problem, is that the crime wave, it's gotten so out of control because people they don't get punished.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get punished.
Yeah. So you're gonna use all these cameras to catch a criminal and then do what with them? Let them out?
Yeah, they're gonna be
give
released.
Them a slap on the wrist?
Right.
What's the point?
Yeah, and at that point, to me, that gets. I understand, and like I said, two things can be true. Yeah, it can help police, but you're also watching innocent people as well, so you're giving up their rights.
Yeah.
So at that point, you're just assuming everyone is guilty. That's why the camera's always rolling.
I do want some quick breaking news.
Okay.
What's his name? Luigi Mangione.
Yeah.
Had a hearing today.
Yes.
Surprise hearing. And he officially pleads guilty to the federal stalking charges. Said he knew what he was doing, confesses to the murder.
Wow.
So there's going to be some sort of plea deal.
There it is.
He is facing life at this point.
That's kind of lame. The only reason he did that is to get off the death penalty.
Yeah.
Because if you plead guilty, you can't get the death penalty.
The judge accepted the plea. We just don't know what it is yet.
That's crazy. I mean, how ironic that right in the middle of talking about what we're talking about. I mean, yeah.
By the way, a camera caught him.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. You want to have that conversation, Seth. We can have that conversation. Was that camera an ALPR?
Or was?
Or ALP? Was it?
I don't know what an ALPR is.
Automatic license plate reader.
Was it a flock camera?
No, probably not.
No,
was it the cameras that scans your the heat you give off and the biometrics?
You're so worried about everything. Quit being so paranoid.
Do you trust the government?
Look, I give my data to whoever asks for it. What difference does it make?
So you trust the government, Seth?
I don't trust anybody.
So then why do you give them? Why are you letting them have it then?
What are they going to do to me?
Oh, wow. What they do to you during COVID, Seth?
Okay, that wasn't because I said, I take my data on my cell phone.
It wasn't because you complied?
I don't comply to the government when they do stuff like that.
Oh, but that's
if
what
I want an
right
app
now.
on my phone, I'm going to comply.
Well, yeah, apps and cameras set up by the government are two different things.
Look, I don't
just like
agree
I brought
with
up
the
beforehand.
cameras. I am saying though that a camera did catch this guy.
Yeah, it was a private security camera that caught the guy.
It has
But
no.
I don't agree with the cameras. You know that.
Yeah, no, I know that, but what you're saying, it doesn't make any sense though. That's like that would
I'm
be
saying
like
that they can help you. I don't agree with them putting them all over the place,
yeah,
but they
Seth,
can assist.
Seth, what you're comparing it to is a government camera as opposed to somebody who went, oh, hey, I see something going on.
And that's what I'm saying.
Things.
I think that a camera can assist like it did in this situation.
Well, yeah, I don't think anybody's saying that.
But
I think
I don't agree with putting them all on every street corner and peering down my block at my house. I don't like any of that.
And I think a point worth making, and the founders understood this, tyranny is always going to be the best way to keep a population safe until it's not.
Real quick, somebody another text, Seth. And then another one says you can't pick and choose what to include, Seth. And that is the problem. You cannot pick and choose what is and is not worthy of keeping. That's just it, because you think the government's going to lay out, and I know we have to go to break, but the government's not going to lay out, hey, here are your choices. It's going to be all or nothing. That's the way that the government works. That's the problem. So I would rather have nothing than all. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to come back for the final segment, put a bow on the show. There's a text message that we're going to respond to here because I don't know. This might keep you around. It's comparing the president to Jesus. Here we are. We're at that point. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We'll be back right after this.
promise to ask better questions. Back to the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Everything that I've heard, praise the Lord.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. It is the final segment, and we're going to, ironically enough, address this. Somebody texted in and said, okay, Jesus had fickle followers also. When he rode in on the donkey into Jerusalem, they sang his praises. 2 days later, they were crying, crucify him, crucify him. I can't wait till Trump wins the battle shortly and hope you all eat humble pie. First of all, how dare you compare anything to Jesus? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe, just maybe that's one of the issues that's going on here. Have we thought about that? Have we thought about maybe comparing a man to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the King of Kings that is Jesus Christ? That's what we're going to make comparisons to now? Do you think maybe we're a little disconnected from reality? I like President Trump too. Voted for him 3 times. I'm not comparing him to Jesus. And if you are, maybe you need to go read the Bible. Maybe that's what you need to do. And I know there's a lot of people that do that. Maybe we all need to maybe we need to get realigned with Christ, myself included. I try to do it. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm a perfect Christian. No one is. Same way, you know what? Because I know a lot of people too that try to find a perfect church. The moment you walk in, it's not perfect because we are sinners. So don't ever compare a human being to Jesus Christ. Where is that rationale? What is that? That's why we have this divide that we do. You're worshiping a man. You're worshiping a human being. Knock it off. You know I don't get loud. I'm not one to get loud, but I see this so much where people will go, well, Jesus and Trump have a lot in common. Excuse me? Jesus is the Son of God. What are we doing? That's craziness. And I don't want to hear rationale for you know what? It's the same thing that they did. Now, here it is. Once again, I'm going to call it out. Because remember when they were walking around comparing Obama to Jesus? Remember that? The same way that they go, well, Jesus would have been a socialist. Really, dummy? Yeah, because that's God's mission was when he sat down, when he sent Jesus here, when he sent his only son here to die for our sins so we can be forgiven and join him in heaven. You're right. The first thing on his mind was, Jesus, son, whatever you do, don't be a communist. Make sure you're a Republican, son. Oh, no. Make sure you're a socialist, son. No. Come on, guys. Absolutely crazy.
Amen.
All right. I'm just saying, I saw that, and that was brewing a little bit. I'm going, what are we doing here? We're going to compare Trump to Jesus? Look, I like President Trump. Voted for him 3 times. I'll vote for him again if he runs. Maybe. No, I'm joking. But I'm not, no, he's not Jesus. He's not. Alex. Alex, what I want to do, because we have a little bit of time left here, I just kind of a speed round thing, just kind of pick your brain. Who do you think gets the nod for the Republicans in 28?
It's looking pretty well like JD.
And do you like that?
I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
I think runner-up to that is probably Rubio. Because the thing is they're both out in the open. They're seen publicly all the time.
Yeah. And James?
I think it's going to be Rubio.
You think so?
The donors are going to pick Rubio. And I don't like Rubio.
No, see, you say that. You say that about the donors. You have to
Rubio
remember.
Hasn't changed. He's the same person he was in 2016.
But what I'm saying about the donors is you have to remember the donors love JD. They love the rags to riches story, man. They do.
The donors might go with Ted Cruz. Who knows?
Oh, well. All right. Well,
maybe just the coke.
Well, yeah. All right. Take a breath.
You got a lot of money and power.
And then let me ask this also. And Seth, I want to pick your brain on that too, because we asked that a while ago. 28, if it's between JD and Rubio, who are you going with?
Oh, if it's between those two, I had another guy I'd rather have.
Who's that?
DeSantis.
See, and I was going to ask. Do you see DeSantis being that guy that can kind of step in there and?
No.
James doesn't think so?
Well, James doesn't know anything.
All right.
Back to this
Alex?
again.
I have no doubts he's going to try to run. I
Yeah.
don't think he pulls it off unless he learns from the mistakes of his last presidential run.
Right.
Because I think he did a good job, but there was a lot of problems with the way his campaign was run.
Yeah.
The people he had advising him. they
Whoever
weren't
he
helping him at
called,
all.
and I met the guy he called, I can't think of his name, before his last debate.
Yeah.
Some debate coach helps
Right,
people
right,
write
right.
books, whatnot.
Yeah.
They need to be in contact constantly if
Okay.
he wants to win.
All right, so we do have some phone calls to get to, but I'm gonna say this: we got like 2.5 minutes, so I'm gonna try to make them as quick as possible. So please be quick on this open line. So Ohio, let's go to Dane. Dane, you're in the air.
Jake, the one thing I wanted to say is that they said the flock commas were not going to go to help ICE, but ICE is there for trafficking. And so that's a total waste then, if ICE isn't going to be able to stop human trafficking.
No, Dane, that's very underrated point, Dane. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Alex. Alex, you're in the air.
Yes, I believe the block cameras are not for now. They're for the future. I think they're designed in the future when people are unhappy about economic collapse because of the $40 trillion debt we have, and there's going to be digital money out there. There'll be a lot of unhappy people. The block cameras make sure that we stay in line for a future problem that's going to arise. You can't have a $40 trillion debt and expect people to be happy.
Yeah, no, Alex,
The
great
consequences.
great point, and thank you for the call. I didn't think about that.
Even if they're not being used that way now, it's such a great
Because once the
framework.
Democrat, if we are going to be under the mindset that the Republicans aren't doing this, once a Democrat gets in charge, it's going to go that way. For sure.
If a dictator or anyone or a tyrannical president ever gets in place, all you have to do is flip a switch, and you've got a massive surveillance network ready to go.
Right, and let's
That's
go.
all you have to do.
And AC, quickly, we got about 30 seconds. AC, you're in the air.
Okay, Jake, there is a perfect church that the Bible talks about. It's in Revelation chapter 3. There's 7 churches that are mentioned. The Church of Philadelphia is the only one of 2 that had no criticism against them. And the Church of Philadelphia is unique in that it is the only church that was promised the pre-tribulation rapture.
All right, AC, thank you for the call, and thank you to everybody, all the texts, a lot of texts coming in. A lot of calls came in today. Thank you so much to the Young Conservatives. Thank you for coming in.
Wham!
And Wham! The WHAM Young Conservatives, thank you for coming in. Seth, great job as always. Rebecca, thank you for being our live studio audience. Thank you for listening to us. If you're in your car, you're home, at work. If you're at work, you're halfway through your day. Great job. Go get some lunch. Weekend's coming up. And tell someone some good news. Tell them about Jesus today, will you? And let's not say that he's like President Trump in a lot of ways. It's craziness. Stop doing that. We'll be back Monday. We'll talk to you then. Have a great weekend.